your ass better call somebody! You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
A podcast discussing all things AEW and WWE.
Give me a hell yeah!
Now, let's meet the host. Kyle Gagliardi.
The face that runs the place.
Jim Tucker. And Erica Marini.
I'm the boss. I'm the blueprint. I'm the standard.
Well, I think we've had enough talk. It's time for the main event.
What is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I am your host, Mr. OTM, Kurt Angle, and I am joined by the wonderful Erica Marini, or as I like to call her tonight, Shotzi Marini. How we doing?
Good. Talk about by the Marks.
We committed to it.
Yeah, we exemplify the word tonight. But it's fun. It's Halloween week.
That's right. We're going
Why not?
trick-or-treating. Why not dress up? We brought in a couple guests that we'll get to very soon, but we got a comment already from Robbie Collins. He's saying hello to you, Robbie, and hello to everybody watching live right now. We are going to have some fun tonight. I have poured myself a nice glass of Elisha Craig bourbon. Erica, you usually are sipping on it something. What are you sipping on tonight?
Blood.
Oh, the ballsy Blackheart, Shotzi Marini over here, drinking some blood. I love
Fully
it.
Committed.
So how you doing, Erica? What's new with you?
Same old. I'm gearing up for Halloween.
Anything planned for the weekend?
I got a party Saturday night. That'll be fun. But this is my...
You're not going to be Shotzi for the party.
I'm not being Shotzi. No, I brought her out of retirement for tonight.
That makes sense. I am Kurt Angle. If you can't tell, I got the Olympic gold medal right here.
I feel like we should get it started in the chat to tell Kyle to take his jacket off because he's got a singlet under there and he's not really
a singlet. It's a cut tank top that I got in college. Okay, you want to see it? Here we go.
Take it off. Take it off.
Slowly undoing it.
Off.
Oh, baby. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's too much.
Okay. We're PG-13.
This is why whenever we upload it to YouTube, I say it's not made for kids. So,
because you see boy nip?
That might be a good reason. Robbie Collins said, great costume. Love some shots.
Thank you, Robbie.
Dirk Vogus. Hi. Happy almost
Vogus.
Halloween. Hello. Happy Halloween to you, Dirk Vogus. And there's the you suck chance in the comments. It only makes sense. So I say we get to our special guest here because we're bringing in two OGs of OTM. First, this costume I do not know the reference to. Erica, can you elaborate on who we are about to bring in here?
I mean, let the people say.
Okay, so here he is. We know him as Mikey Wilson, but Captain
Lou Albano in the house. I went for a super throwback here. Gags texted me about 6 hours ago. I was like, hey, can you be in a costume? I was like, yeah, I can figure something out. Lou is better known as a manager. He took 15 different people to tag team gold.
Really?
Yes.
That's a fun fact. You did your research before coming on, didn't you?
Lou, yes, I did. Lou wrestled when Vince McMahon was doing interviews.
Oh, wow. So it really is a super throwback, like you told me. All right. I appreciate it, man. How you been?
Life is good. No complaints down here, man.
Down in Texas with the Blackhawks background going on there. I love it.
I was
4-game winning
team. The other day, nobody knew what was going on.
You're very close to Mexico, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. We were in Mexico last week. I just got a fresh tat. See?
Look at this guy.
Nice.
What is it? I can't really tell. Is that like a
shot glass?
Oh, okay. That makes sense for you. Very
with a sombrero on it.
What are you sipping on tonight? I know you're not coming empty-handed.
Busch Light, baby.
Busch Latte.
The nectar of the gods.
That's right. So let's bring in our second special guest. He sometimes is playing baseball at Wrigley Field. He's
our sporty spice.
Yeah, a former St. Louis Cardinal, current Chicago Cub, is Ian Garavalia, a.k.a. Patrick Wisdom. Ian, how are you?
Thank you very much. I am very good, Kyle. How are we?
Fantastic. What are you sipping on this evening?
I got some THBC locally brewed in the Terre Haute community. Crossroads Cream Ale. It's actually pretty good. I like it.
He's a creamy boy, Erica. Thoughts?
Creamy boy.
That's what I pegged him as. Ooh, no pun intended.
Oh, I see what you did there. So we decided to bring in these two clowns because we got a lot of trick-or-treating to do. But before we get into all that good stuff, we got to remind the listeners to check out all the cool new merchandise that we got at the OnTheMarkWrestlingPodcast.com. Our co-host that is unfortunately not able to be here once again, Jim Tucker, created a new t-shirt. It is banger after banger after banger. Go ahead and cop that at the OnTheMarkWrestlingPodcast.com. It's the fall time of the year. We're getting close to the holiday season. I know Ian still hasn't gotten his Bryan Danielson appreciation shirt. We're still waiting on that, Ian. What's the deal?
I'm in college and I'm broke.
Mikey, can you help this kid out?
He just spent $200 on beer.
50?
Priorities, right, Ian?
Exactly. Someone gets it.
That makes sense. So, yeah, show us some love. Go to the website. But the reason we are here is to do a little trick-or-treating. And if you haven't seen what we were talking about on social media, we came up with this concept, Erica, where we asked our followers to give us their wrestling opinions or hot takes. And we are going to give an answer if it's a trick or a treat. Trick meaning we disagree, we don't like the statement, or a treat meaning we do agree or we like that take. So I want to make sure, Erica, you fully comprehend what we are about to get ourselves into.
I'm with you, Kyle.
And this is not a predictions episode. This is just trick-or-treating.
All right. Thank you for the
You are
reassurance.
drinking for I don't know still, right?
Exactly.
Shit.
So you guys actually, I shouldn't say you guys. Ian gave us a few. Mikey did not. So shame on you, Mikey. But
I didn't either, Mikey.
well, you weren't supposed to.
I don't know anything.
You're a part of the show. It's okay. So let's get into the first one here. And if you're watching live and you want to give us some more opinions or takes, we will live react to those. Tell me if it's a trick or a treat. So let's go to the first one here, guys. From the mayor of Canton himself. He says, I'm not sure if I'm going to make a hot take statement, but I'll leave this up to you guys. If Vince chose to keep the belt on Brett in Montreal and Sean then went to WCW,
Oh, man.
would there be a different outcome in the Monday Night Wars? So it really isn't a trick or treat. So it's kind of an answering is, would there be a different outcome? Erica, do you have any thoughts on this question? Because
I have a lot of thoughts.
Before my time.
I need a moment.
Mikey, I'll let you jump if she needs a moment.
So it's interesting. I don't think the outcome would have been different because Vince McMahon just had, Big Bank wins every time, I think. So I think the outcome's still the same, but the content is so much better. And the outcome, not of the Monday Night Wars, but when Vince and Shane bought WCW, the aftermath is different now too. He doesn't just keep all of his WWF guys. He has Sean's ear, and Sean is on the inside in WCW. And he brings a few more of the WCW guys in. I think the aftermath is different, but I think the results are the same.
I agree. I think my brain just automatically went to like life with Shawn Michaels in WCW, and it kind of just like made it spin. But I agree with that.
That probably changes the wrestling world as we know it. If that were
that would be crazy. That is like some alternate universe ish.
Some conspiracy theories. So not really a trick or treat, more of a what would happen. Ian, I'm not even going to bother asking you because
it's a good call.
You weren't even a thought in this world.
He said WC what?
He knows what WCW is.
I don't know why I made him talk like that.
Yeah, why does Ian got an accent now? He just lives in Terre Haute. Well, we could trick or treat this because he did put a PS, the mayor of Canton did. He said, Logan Paul should be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Ian, trick or treat on that one.
That's gonna be a trick on that one. That's not gonna happen.
It's a trick for me. It's a trick for me.
It's what that is a cheap way of getting money and eyes on the product during a Saudi Arabia show. That's all that is. It's not gonna be anything crazy.
Erica, would you say a trick as well?
He knew he was tricking on that one. Okay. Yeah. No
Mikey,
chance.
is that a clean sweep? We got a trick from you?
What if I said treat? Because could you imagine the aftermath?
I couldn't because I don't see it happening, but I could imagine how extreme that reaction would be.
Do you remember Eric Bischoff's quote, "Controversy creates cash"?
Yeah, but what is Eric Bischoff doing nowadays?
Nothing, but it's not wrong.
But the point is,
It's along the same lines as any publicity is good publicity in a way, but
That would be the highest rating Raw ever got.
if you tuned in and Logan Paul was the champion the
Yes.
next day. Yeah.
That would be Miz ratings after he beat John Cena.
Yeah, that's gonna be a trick for me though, dog. So we got about 17 here to go through. So let's keep moving. Eric, I'll let you go first. This is from our former co-host, Steve Signor. He says 3 years ago, he would have started a faction with Mojo Rawley, Kona Reeves, Shane Thorne, and Buddy Murphy. Trick or treat to that faction.
the best part is he says that so genuinely that that is a treat for Steve Signor. I think there are 4 guys that deserved a chance that didn't really. Who was it? Shane Thorne, Kona Reeves, Mojo, and who's the 4th?
Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy. Yeah, 4 guys in WWE that kind of deserved more than what they did. So I would be open to it being a treat if done right. With the right manager, not the 4 of them.
It's a trick for me. Mikey, you and Ian, you guys might not know all of those guys, but Mikey, what do you think? Trick or treat?
Murphy and Mojo.
But what's your response?
Trick.
There you go. Ian?
I don't like the whole idea of Murphy and Mojo together because I think that would eliminate everything that Murphy would have at the time. So I would say that's a trick. I don't like that.
Oh, there we go. A little further explanation.
But what if he was like the killer? All right. I feel like no one can hear me.
I can hear
You
you.
guys hear me?
We're good.
Everything's freezing.
You're fine. Maybe it's just on your end, Erica.
Maybe it's
Are
your ether.
No, I think everybody else is good. Guys, we good?
Yeah, no, we're
Everybody
good.
freeze frame just to deke Eric out.
Erica, is it still acting up for you? So this is what happens when you go live.
The picture. All right, I'll fight through it. Stop it, Ian.
What is happening right now with Erica's connection over there? Everything's fine in our world.
Apart. It's this freaking helmet and wig. Everything's itchy. I'm so warm.
I do want to hear, though, in the comments who they think has the best costume. We have Ryan Vogus saying, great costume, Ian, as he's dressed up as Patrick Wisdom.
Thank you.
And then Vogus says, Murphy ended up kissing like a 17-year-old Mysterio girl. That faction might have been better for him.
Good point.
That's a great comment from Vogus. That might be comment of the night.
Where's
so far.
Bogat tonight?
We sent out an open invitation. He didn't respond. It was in the group chat. So
Trying to lock that MBM up.
the invite is out there. So let's move on to this one. This one's juicy, and I think we actually can talk about this for a little bit. I'll let Ian go first. This is from Aaron Oros, a good friend of mine. He says, John Cena is the GOAT, and I don't even think it's an argument at this point. Ian, what are your thoughts? Trick or treat that John Cena is the GOAT?
Treat that he's stayed relevant for so long and he's good. I don't think there's any debate. Treat.
Ooh, okay. Mikey, you've been around a little longer. Is that a trick or treat?
I think it's a treat, begrudgingly, because, yeah, you have to admit that he's been around forever. He's been on top of the mountain forever. I think it's a treat.
Erica?
I think it's a treat too. I also think that goats change like over time.
Generation.
Is he one of like a current goat? Definitely. I don't think there's a definitive answer for like genuine, like of all time goat, but I think he's done so well with reinventing himself, keeping himself relative, even now outside of wrestling, that I never thought he'd be rock status. And I'm not saying that he is, but I never thought he'd be a respected actor the way that he is and like putting things out and being like a mainstream guy doing commercials and crap. So that counts. I'm calling it a treat.
So for the host that's favorite of all time is John Cena, what do you guys think my response is going to be to this one?
Trick.
It's a treat. John Cena's the GOAT. Are you kidding me? And obviously this is, subjective. Everybody has different opinions because you can take the in-ring side of things and then the mainstream appeal. But like you guys said, longevity, big match John, there's a reason they call him that. He always stepped up whenever he had those big matches. And the one that comes off the top of my head is the one versus CM Punk at Money in the Bank 2011. That is still my favorite match of all time. John Cena's my GOAT. And I can't believe that we all are agreeing that John Cena is the GOAT is a treat. So put that in your candy bag, ladies and gentlemen.
I want it to be known that John Cena being a GOAT is a treat. John Cena is not my GOAT.
That's fair. Okay.
Yes. Good. Yeah.
Is Erica agreeing with that statement?
Yes, I agree with Mikey. This side agrees.
That's fair. So let's move on to this one. Erica, I'll let you go first. This is from Steve Signor. Oh, Mikey can go first then. This is from Steve Signor, Mikey. He says, Ciampa and Gargano will co-headline WrestleMania within the next 3 years.
Love it. 3 years is tight, though. Trick.
Ooh. Is it just the time frame that makes
time frame?
Okay.
Erica. I have to agree with Mikey. 3 years is tight, and Ciampa, it would be a treat.
It would be.
But it would be a treat. I'd love to see it happen. I'd say maybe within 5.
Okay.
So for 3, I'd say Trick.
Okay. 2 tricks, Ian. You going to be the first treat here?
Within 3 years is tough. But I will say, is it a singles match versus each other or a tag team match? Tag team match co-eventing.
And Vogus makes a good question too. Headline match, question mark. He says treat. Main event, trick. There is a difference there.
Fair. Yeah.
He is saying co-headline a WrestleMania. So I'm assuming that means main eventing one of the WrestleMania nights.
Right. I will say this, though. If you're going to do that, you need to have a title on one of them. So I don't know who that would be.
Right.
But if someone got a title, I would say that is a treat. I think it could happen.
I'm going to be optimistic as well and say treat on this one. And that's probably just because I'm a huge NXT Mark and Johnny Gargano fan. But, I mean, let's just look at recent history right now, guys. On Monday Night Raw, Johnny Gargano is being featured in backstage segments. He's having tons of matches. You know, I think he is becoming a focal point on the main roster. I don't know if he's going to become a major champion this year or next. Erica, I see you waving down there. Don't worry, we brought you back in. But I'm just going to say treat. I'm not very confident with it, but I think it's just me probably being optimistic here, guys.
Say it again. Sorry.
It's the co-headlining with Gargano and
okay.
Ciampa. We're still on that.
To your point, Gags, I think he had 10 minutes of screen time outside of his match with Corbin.
That's what I'm saying. Like
what the fuck is going on?
He's getting TV time, and Erica, we're losing her again. I don't know what's going on. We're going to have to remove her really quick. It's a good thing I brought you guys with. See, this is what happens on live shows, fellas. Elijah Washington is saying, Kyle's got the best costume. Let me find something Olympic. Oh, it's true.
It's damn
true. All right, so hopefully Erica can figure out her internet. Let's bring her back in.
Oh, I can't figure out my internet.
Thought you get good signal with these things up here.
What do you think I am?
Let's flip you over.
Although, to be fair, I did help you figure out your AirPods today, which was probably the coolest I felt in a long time.
And then I took them away.
Yeah, and then I go, Ian, how do the AirPods sound? And he goes, not good. So here we are. I'm back with the strings here. So we are split down the middle. This side says treat. That side says trick. So let's move on. This one's from Roped Ring News, a.k.a. Robbie Collins. He says, Roman Reigns is very overrated and shouldn't be holding 2 belts right now. Ian, I will let you take this one first because that is a bold take.
Okay. I would agree with the holding 2 belts at the same time right now. At one point, like early, that's fine. I love having 2 belts on one guy, especially with Roman Reigns. But holding them for this long, I would agree with that. I don't think he should hold it for this long because you're kind of you're putting yourself in a corner. I think that's a treat, but a half treat.
So you don't believe he's overrated?
Yeah. No, I don't think he's overrated at all. It's just I don't think he should be having 2 titles at the same time right now.
It's like getting an Almond Joy when you're going trick-or-treating.
Okay.
Like it's still a treat, but it's not that great.
Almond Joys are
why? What's your problem? Yeah,
Almond Joys. Good.
What's your problem? Do you like
Why is
Mounds?
that, Mikey? Do you have a story behind that?
we bought a bag of candy. It's 350 pieces, and it was mixed.
Oh my
we
God.
took all the Almond Joys out, and Julie took them away.
Get the fuck out of here, Almond Joy.
You guys need some taste.
It was literally like a handful like this, and she just took them all
No.
to work so the girls could have it at work.
Ryan Vogus is saying that's a trick. Roman holding both titles has elevated the other two. I'm gonna say trick as well. I'm gonna agree with Ryan Vogus for that exact reasoning. Erica, did you give your opinion on this one?
No, I didn't. And I was going to say half and half. So I'm going to say half and half. I don't think he's overrated. I think everything that he's done the past 2 years, taken into consideration, especially where he came from before that, where people were just booing him to boo him. And now he's like the hottest thing. But holding the two belts, I agree. Did you say he alleviated the other two, meaning what? The two belts?
Not
Yeah.
sure alleviated was right.
No, that wasn't the word. but
Wow.
he said-
And
he
that
said
is
he
a
holding-
grammatical fuck you from Mikey Wilson.
He has no room to talk about grammar. The worst guy with grammar is Mikey
You
Wilson.
know what?
I love the guy
That
to
was a
death.
treat. That was a treat.
Well, we
I
got
thought I was muted.
Oh no.
we got to have a Gem Tuck fill in with the redhead and the
Yes.
grammatical errors.
Yes.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I'm going
New-
half and half.
Newman says, I agree with that Ryan guy. Hello, Newman. Nice to see you popping into a wrestling podcast over here. So everybody gave their trick or treat answer to that one, right?
Mhm.
All right, Mikey, I'll let you have this one first because I'm sure you have some thoughts. This is from our MVM, SCW Steve. He says, AEW needs more championships. Trick or treat, Mikey.
So a lot of these are trolling, I think.
Well,
Yes.
that's what makes it fun, I
100%,
think.
yes.
Mikey,
Okay.
I'm sure you got thoughts.
I actually don't hate how many championships AEW has.
Really?
I do wish that they would limit how many times they bring a Ring of Honor match or a Ring of Honor champion, or for that fact, an out of AEW champion. Like it should be a one time a night thing, and maybe even once a month thing. It should be like a special thing. And what we have 2 or 3 Ring of Honor matches last week?
Because they don't even have a TV deal. They just pop off with a random pay-per-view from time to
Not
time.
yet they don't, but I think this is their way of getting it.
Is this like an introduction period, you think?
I think.
I
So
don't watch
trick or treat,
Rampage too
Mikey.
much. I'm gonna go treat because you give the mid carders something to do, and they treat their mid card titles very well over there. There are a lot of titles, but I think it's a treat.
So they need more championships, is what you're saying.
He just doesn't think there's too many.
Okay,
There's not
that's
too
fair.
many.
That's fair.
Thank you.
Ian,
He's
you
comfortable with the number.
you mainly watch AEW, so I want to hear your thoughts.
I think I know where Mikey's going with that. I'm gonna say it's a trick. They don't need more titles. It's just they need to show their titles and not go with ROH titles on TV. I like the amount of titles they have. It's just hard to do within 3 hours of television time throughout the week. And you need to make it so that it's building up a match instead of just having a random title match every now and then. It's a trick, but there's some like truth to it. You just need to show the titles more.
It's 100% a trick, and they already have too many. And we've talked about this enough, but Erica, I'll let you elaborate if you got anything else.
I'm going to say 50-50 trick and treat because same thing. I think AEW as a company is showcasing two companies' titles. So AEW itself doesn't have too many titles. They could build to a women's tag title. They could build to what, Ian?
I'm disagreeing with the women's tag title. They don't have enough star power to do that.
They could build to it.
No.
I'm just saying one day. And
One
you know
day,
what?
about 3 years from now.
Vogus, no one actually cares to bring advocates of deal, whatever. I just said trick or treat.
Here we go. We are doing live ones, so let's do this one for Brian Vogus. I'd say trick because I am kind of intrigued, but in a way, it's kind of a treat for me because I could go without it.
I'm sorry that you guys have no taste
Mikey,
in both Halloween candy and wrestling.
Mikey, to Vogus's comment here, trick or treat.
No one actually cares. I don't care. I don't know. I don't care.
So it's a treat for you.
Yeah, I don't care.
No,
Ian?
I'm taking this fucking helmet off.
I'm saying
Wow!
It hurts. It itches.
Welcome to the ball pit.
Who's your daddy?
I'm gonna say Ryan Bogus's take here is a trick because I think the more competition in wrestling, the better.
It's not even competition though because he owns both companies.
No, I fair.
Are you talking about with the E, the dub?
No, I'm just saying. In general, the more wrestling companies you have on TV, the better it is. You have to elevate your talent and you have to elevate your storylines.
Oh, I didn't even realize you had the daddy necklace on.
With it, and then I look like Rhea Ripley with the wig off.
It's just your brutality. What can I say?
My gong.
I don't know if I could take another hour of wrestling either throughout the week. I can barely watch what's on TV now.
Well, I'm saying you don't have to watch it. I don't think anybody's going to watch it, but I'm just saying if they come up with some diamond in the rough kind of situation, I think it would be better for the industry to have another outlet for wrestling.
You have guys like Samoa Joe, Wheeler Yuta,
That's it.
Claudio
Castagnoli,
Bryan Danielson, at the moment Chris Jericho, probably Daniel Garcia. You have those guys that are for sure going to be ROH like mainstays. So I just think to have like an outlet like that for those guys to go to, that it doesn't need to be like an AEW chasing a TNT title or whatever. I like it, but I also like that style of wrestling that those particular wrestlers do. So I get it if it's not for you, but I would like it.
I'm not saying it's not for me. I just don't have another hour of my week to watch.
Oh, I agree. I sometimes it feels like homework to like have to like watch. Yeah, 3 hours of Raw, whatever.
I watch like 30-minute recaps on YouTube because I don't have 3 hours to watch Raw.
Yes. Also, I forget.
I don't.
But if it would happen, I would like it.
I don't have much of a life, so I have plenty of time to watch wrestling. So if they add more, we'll be fine. I don't do it. Hi, Mom. My mom's checking in.
Hi, Donna.
She's waving hello. Everybody wave to my wonderful mother. She is a saint. Let's move on here to the next one. This is from Ian himself. I think another little troll action going on here, but I'll let Ian answer it first. Impact Wrestling will one day take over the wrestling industry as the #1 wrestling promotion. Ian, trick or treat?
That's a treat. Underrated.
You don't even watch Impact.
Not at all.
Name two Impact guys.
I tried to tune in once and I gave up within about 15 minutes. It was tough to watch.
I'm not even going to give this more than 10 seconds. It's a trick for me. Erica?
It's a trick.
Mikey? Yeah, okay. Let's move on. Ian, I do appreciate the comedy relief there in the middle of all this. This is a serious one, though, from Aaron Oroz, and I think this one's going to be interesting. I think we might be split. But he says Survivor Series should always be NXT versus SmackDown versus Monday Night Raw. Erica, what are your thoughts on that? Trick or treat?
Love that. Treat. I love, was it 2019?
19, yep.
That the 3 brands did that. It added like an extra something to it. You have these guys from NXT that maybe the main roster audience don't know. You have guys from NXT that normally wouldn't be in matches with guys that are on SmackDown and Raw. It just added something. It was awesome. I loved it that whole weekend. I used to despise Adam Cole before them, Survivor Series.
Adam Cole!
Baby!
Still won't do that. But that weekend really made me give him all of my respect, and it kind of changed my outlook on him like in general. So that is a treat to the max. I love that, and I agree.
Mikey, speaking of that weekend, we spent that weekend together at Survivor Series when Adam Cole was going ham. Keith Lee had his moment. So how do you feel about this statement that Survivor Series should always be the 3 brands? Trick or treat?
Trick, because nobody cares about their brand outside of that 1 month.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but I feel like now...
I've always hated Survivor Series because I'm Team SmackDown in November or whatever.
Good point.
And then December comes and nobody gives a shit anymore.
But suppose that it right now was like my city versus your city versus Ian's city versus Kyle's city. Like you might not be like, winning. But you might not be super whatever city you're for. But when it comes time and you have to like stand up and defend your city, like you're going to be all about it, right?
I would agree with that.
It's a good counter, but I do see Mikey's point. So Erica's saying it's a treat. Mikey's saying it's a trick. Vogus is saying Walter
That's a
lost
really good
in like
point, Erica.
7 seconds at Survivor Series to Drew in that match. That he did. That was shocking. But Ian, what's your take on this? Trick or treat?
I loved that show. That was actually one of the one Survivor Series I've actually watched because I love the idea, and I'm saying that is a treat by far because I love it's like literally rooting for a team because no matter how you think about it of WWE, there are people that only watch Raw, there are people that only watch SmackDown and NXT. I love the idea of it, and I think it should keep going. I maybe a rename for it, but I love the idea of it. I think it's fun to watch.
The rename would probably be necessary if they committed to that. I would agree. Surprisingly, though, I'm going to say Trick, and it's only because I want to see what War Games is like this year. I think if these 2 War Games matches that they do at Survivor Series is a success, that's maybe something that they can continue with because the last couple months, a lot of WWE television has kind of been, in a way, molding and shaping these potential War Games matches, which I enjoy because it gives Survivor Series a purpose. And so did the brand supremacy thing. But going off of Mikey's point, I mean, people are showing up on every show. R-Truth was on NXT. You know, we see Baron Corbin hop on over to Raw. Ray's going over to SmackDown. It's just, there's no continuity there.
Piggybacking on what you said, Kyle, what if it was like a Worlds Collide type thing? How it used to be.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
No, I like that idea too. Okay.
I used to love those.
I wouldn't mind if, like, one of the heels, like when they were trying to do teams, one of the heels, like, I give 2 shits what brand I'm on. I'm not fighting for Raw. Like,
yeah, and
every now and
refuses.
then, yeah, I don't give a shit.
Well, they should kayfabe, but like, if you win this for the brand, you get X amount of money or a title shot or something like that.
Yeah,
like put something on the line. It's not just Raw.
Whoever wins Survivor Series gets put in the Elimination Chamber.
That's a good one. I like that. Hey, book it better, Mikey.
Hey, book it better.
Here's a throwback. Here's a live one we'll react to. Trick or treat. NXT won't exist.
Bogus?
In
I just
10
can't
years.
stand him tonight. And yeah.
Oh, what's your answer though?
He's such an asshole.
What's your answer to this?
I don't know if it's a trick or a treat, but he's probably right.
So you're
But
probably
on that-
saying it's a treat then.
But I think in 10 years, there's a few current wrestling companies that won't exist. Also,
That
GCW.
might be coming up. That might
Probably
be coming up. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll let Mikey go quick here on the bogus
Trick.
live one. Trick. Ian?
Trick.
I think NXT is like that perfect
I think
developmental.
Triple H is going to let his baby die.
No way.
Never.
This is before Ian and I's time as well, but I'll let Erica and Mikey answer it. Trick or treat. Sting should have been the mystery 3rd man instead of Hulk Hogan.
That was not my time.
I don't remember this specifically, but I have seen callbacks on this, and this is a big theory in the old time WWF WCW realm.
Because it probably changes the future, just like that one hypothetical
Shawn
we were talking
Michaels,
about, right?
yeah.
It's a good
Easy.
question from Newman. I was not expecting to
You
see
guys
our boy Newman in the
This
chat.
was. Oh, I'm sorry. This was NWO.
Yeah.
Sting was supposed to lead NWO, and Hogan put his foot down and said,
oh.
"No, I'm leading NWO," because Hulk Hogan had 100% creative rights when he came to WCW with Eric Bischoff. Sting was supposed to be the 3rd man with Hall, and then
Could you even see that?
I think, and I don't know if NWO would have been what it was without Hogan,
No.
but
You know what?
was
You know
originally
what?
supposed to be, yes.
You know what I would have done without this stupid GIF of Hogan spitting on the camera?
Yes.
I hate it. Mayor, you use it a lot. I'm sorry, but I hate it. I hate spit.
NWO, yeah. See, look at my boy Jason Amaya popping in with the NWO reference. He knows what we're talking about. And Vogue said, yeah, he was in the Wolfpack. That's what Newman was referencing there. Shout out to Newman for that one right there. Let's move on to this one. This is from Anonymous. This person did not want to be named, but they said, and I'll let Erica go first because I got to make myself a drink and we can go in order after that. Brock Lesnar shouldn't have broken Undertaker's streak. Erica, go ahead.
I hate that. I hate that. If I agree, I say it's a treat.
I'm confused too.
I agree with Anonymous. Yeah, I hated it. And the only thing that gave me any sort of like consolation was that Taker said he wanted it to be Brock. Still doesn't matter. I still hated it. I walked out of Buffalo Wild Wings, like, pissed off. I said, if he loses tonight, I'm flipping the table. And then he lost. And I just sat in silence. And I just said, you need to get the bill. I'll be in the car. And I just, like, left. Like, so, treat.
Yeah, I don't. Gags, we're confused on if this what trick or treat means in this situation.
If
So
I
you're
agree,
agreeing with the statement. They said that he shouldn't have broken the streak.
then yes, treat.
So it would
Treat
be
to
a
the
treat if
fucking
you
max.
agree. Mikey, I'm
Ian-
sure you got some thoughts on this one.
Treat as well. I was as stunned as Erica was. I didn't walk out of my dad's basement, but I was stunned as well.
I was like, wait, I wasn't in the basement. I'm with you.
Could you imagine if Orton broke the streak when he was the Legend Killer? Like, I think that was the time to do it.
Yeah.
Potentially. I mean,
Yeah.
I have my few. I'll let Ian give his answer first, though. What do you feel about
Seth or a Dean?
So this was before my time. I'm a young boy. Looking back on it, though, I'll give it that kind of point of view. I liked it.
This was before your time.
Oh my God, he was like 10.
Yeah, you got to remember, he was a
I
young
just
boy.
like did the math.
When The Undertaker broke the streak, I was in college. Ian was probably in middle school. Probably elementary school.
What year was this?
Had to be like 2014, 2013.
I was thinking 13.
Yeah, it might be 13.
I was in middle school. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
God.
But in hindsight, trick or treat.
Fuck. It's hard because, like, looking back on it, it is a insane moment.
Yeah.
I'd say trick, because I don't agree with that. I'd say trick just because, like, looking back on it, I would not expect anybody else besides Brock Lesnar to do it.
So when it originally happened, I hated it. I thought it was a dumb decision. But, as the years went by and all that Brock has accomplished, it's like he definitely was an option. I just would have preferred maybe like a Roman Reigns, who ended up beating him anyways at WrestleMania after the streak was broken. Because look what Roman ended up becoming. You knew he was going to be the future. It could have been a John Cena where there's history there. And like we said, he's potentially the GOAT. Yeah, it was. And then this is another person he faced. What about Bray Wyatt?
There you go.
Just with the vibes, it's similar to what The Undertaker was. I think he could have been a better option. I don't hate the Brock Lesnar decision looking back at it now, but for me, that's a treat because I would agree. I think there were better options out there. Yeah. But we have a few comments. We got one from Newman again. Ian, I'll let you go first. Trick or treat. Loaded. John Cena should have turned heel.
Oh God. No. I would say that is a trick. I don't have a lot of explanation for it, but the fact that John Cena is still relevant today says something about him never turning heel.
That is a good question, though, from Newman. Erica, what are your thoughts? What do you think, Erica?
I'm kind of 50-50, and the only trick for me is I would have loved to see that heel turn. I would have loved to see what he had done with it. But I love the fact that he stayed face, and like Ian said, I think it says a lot about who he is, the fact that he stayed relevant through the face. And I think the Make-A-Wish thing too, like if he genuinely did it like for the kids, then like no.
Mikey, what do you think?
It's a trick for sure, and I don't know Newman at all, but when fans riot and don't get their way, they throw a fit. And you're not always gonna get that. And that sucks. And it's gonna fucking happen. It's a trick. John Cena's always been a good guy. He is the original good guy, just like Scott Hall's the original bad guy.
Yeah.
You didn't get your way. Just let it go.
And I think there's very few people that have been face their entire career. The only one I could think of is Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah.
Maybe Tito Santana. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But very few. So I like that he did it at the magnitude that he did.
For the record, my gold medal broke when I went to go get more bourbon. It just fell off. So I'm just a dude wearing a tracksuit now. It's not really turning.
Take it off.
Maybe I'll go get the $1 million chain, even though I'm not the $1 million champion. Mikey Wilson.
Halloween, you can pretend.
This might surprise you. I'm gonna go treat. just because if Hulk Hogan could have a heel run, so could have John Cena. I just would have liked to seen what would have come of it. It could have been a couple months, maybe even a year. I think it would have been interesting. It might have tarnished his legacy a bit if it didn't work out, but you also I don't know who brought up, it might have been Mikey, but you would have been feeding into what the people wanted. And maybe they would have reacted the complete opposite if you actually did turn him heel.
Like when they were begging for Cody to turn.
Right. So
and then Cody said, okay, I'm just going to leave.
It's a catch-22. Let's get to the comment section real quick before we move on. Brian said, had Roman Reigns ended a streak versus Brock Lesnar, I bet the bloodline, his title reign right now would have had more meaning. It's a solid point. Ryan Vogus said Roman beat him and it did nothing for him. At the time, yeah, but it probably would have meant more if the streak wasn't broken before.
Roman beat Taker and it did nothing for him?
That's what he's saying, Mikey.
Trick.
Wow.
It's never referenced, and they teamed together for like a half a year later. That is true with Roman and Taker. They did team later.
He stood in the ring for 20 minutes the next night on Raw. Didn't say a word.
Great.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Great point, Mikey. I agree. And Dirk Vogus says, hey, Patrick Wisdom, don't let David Ross see you drinking like that.
It's pop.
Hey, you're of age now. You could say what it is.
Yeah, I'm drinking.
Pop.
It's a soda.
It's a soda, but it's cute. He said pop.
Whoever says soda is a loser. It's a pop.
Hey, man, it's pop.
So, Erica, we'll go to you here first. Steve Signor says, Karrion Kross will be one of the top baby faces in the company within the next year and a half. Oh, yeah, and he'll be bald when that happens. Trick or treat?
Even his timelines. I know Steve's a fan of the bald head, as am I. I do appreciate the head of hair on him now, but I feel like that's more for Cross as like a human being and not as like a fucking killer. So I do think he needs the shaved head back. Top baby face. I'd like him to be top something in the next year and a half, be it face or heel. I don't know if I see it being face. I'm going to say Trick, but I could see him. I hope that he's like top
something,
spooky villain, something in the next year and a half. So I'm right in line, as I normally do.
Mikey, trick or treat, Karrion Kross being a top babyface in the next year and a half.
Trick, but I feel like it's going to be an NXT guy that's going to be on the top in the next year and a half. I don't know who that is.
Oh.
Joe Gacy.
Karrion Kross doesn't do anything for me, though.
What about Scarlett?
Especially a face.
So honestly, the Karrion Kross, that is a topic across a lot of wrestling platforms. A lot of people think he's overrated.
I don't know if overrated is a word, but
the character is strong. But when you look at like matches he's had in WWE, you can't definitively say that was a banger.
No, it's like he doesn't have like chemistry with
a lot
enough people. Yeah.
But I love the Drew and Karrion stuff. Like that's going to be another good one at Crown Jewel. I think big with Cross works. But
yes,
Ian, what are we thinking here? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Did you have anything else to add?
No, he froze.
Okay, Ian, it's hard to say. I mean, what is he now? Is he a babyface or is he heel?
He's a heel.
Okay. I mean, it's hard to distinguish at this point. I'm going to say Trick just because if he's super over, it's hard to distinguish if he's a heel or a face.
Especially with the Scarlet gimmick, which I feel like he needs to succeed.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Vogus. I'll get shit on here. He's just like Moxley. Great character. None of his matches wow me. When I don't agree with his Moxley take, I do agree with his Karrion Kross take. I don't think Kross is that great in ring, but the character and having Scarlet, makes him a bigger deal. So I will say Trick to him being a top babyface in the next year and a half. Did everybody else answer that one?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Let's move on because there's still about 10, I think, on this list.
10?
And we still got some. Aaron has a good one here.
Wait, I have a question. I have a question for Mikey. How'd you get that hair tie on your beard?
Down here or up here?
Up here.
Scotch tape.
Oh, nice. Oh. Nice.
Before we move on to the next topic, we haven't really heard
have you
what
asked?
People. Yeah. No. What are they saying? about the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
What's everybody saying about the On the Mark podcast?
It's just insane, and I love it.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
Unlike any other.
It's a great show.
We'll be right back after a brief intermission.
I'll answer this one first because I haven't answered one first yet. This is from Aaron Oros, and I really like this one too. He said, Austin Theory should cash in on Braun Breaker, not on a main roster champion. I am 100% going to say treat. We talked about it last week, Erica, when he teased cashing in on Braun Breaker. When they did do that tease, I didn't even think of it until that moment. And when I saw it, it just made total sense because I can't see Austin Theory successfully cashing in on Roman Reigns or anyone else right now. So I'm going to say that's a treat. What do you think?
It said that Austin
Theory should cash in on Braun Breaker.
I think Austin Theory should get more involved in NXT. I think Austin Theory should maybe dabble in between the two brands until he finds something that fits and that works for him. But what you said, he would have been a good one, a good candidate to go back to NXT and fuck shit up. So treat.
Ian?
What a better way for him to cash in than on NXT where he was actually over. Because I love that. That is awesome. I never even thought about that. I'm very much a treat. I love that.
Mikey?
Treat.
That's it?
Treat. Enough said.
I thought I would have time to take a sip, but I didn't.
What he said.
It's a treat for me as well. I think that's definitely the move. Let's move on to a text message I just got from a Mikey Wilson. He said truck. He said truck or treat, not trick or treat. So let's go to truck or treat.
Truck or treat. Hey, I'm in Texas, baby. Truck or treat.
Truck or treat.
Mikey, I'll let you answer first. A heel takes the title off of Roman Reigns. Trick or treat.
Treat.
Who do you think it is? Give a suggestion, Sean.
A heel Kevin Owens.
Ooh.
Don't hate it.
Book it better.
Ian, what do you think? Trick or treat?
I'm going to say that's a treat. It cannot be a face because I think at the time when he does lose his title, he will be a face and he'll be very much over. And no one wants to see him lose his title.
Erica?
I also agree that's a treat. I think it could go. I think whoever you have take it off of him, I think Roman's going to lean the opposite way. And I think having Roman leave as the face saves him more for when he inevitably does come back. So I like it. What do you say, Mikey?
It's that little double turn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm used to shit talking. I'm like, what did you say? Oh, you're just being nice.
It's going to be a trick from me, dog. I'm going to go trick on that one just because I think there's two options right now, at least for me personally, to dethrone Roman Reigns. I think one of the obvious ones is Cody Rhodes, just because he's going to return. He's going to be a babyface when he does return. He's big enough to dethrone Roman. I think that's an option. But I also think I think he returns at the Rumble, wins the Rumble, and cashes or gets his title opportunity then at WrestleMania. Or
I want to change my heel. Keep going. I want to change my heel.
Okay. Or you go the Sami Zayn route where he could potentially get a Daniel Bryan type of backing from the fans. Once he inevitably is away from the bloodline, he would be the ultimate babyface going into that match with Roman Reigns. And I've said it before on this podcast. I do believe Sami Zayn should be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. So I'm going to say that's a trick, Mikey.
I like that a lot.
That's right. I convinced your ass, didn't I?
Fast forward to 2024. Roman Reigns is still your champion.
He's going to go the MJF route, isn't he?
MJF. It's music hits. Dethrones Roman Reigns in his first match.
Ian would cry himself to sleep if
I would.
MJF went to
Better
WWE.
than you, and you know it.
Could you imagine? Could you
Ian's
imagine?
a firm
Roman?
believer that WWE would ruin him.
No,
It would have no choice but
ruin
to.
him.
It would PG-13 him. It would R-rated him.
Yeah, I would agree
Yeah.
with that. I
Yeah.
think you'd still stay hot there, but only for like maybe 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, something around
Although, who's to say with, I don't know.
there. I just don't think it'll ever
2024,
happen.
we got 2 years. Who knows what could
It
be.
will never happen. There's no way.
All right, let's all meet back here October 27th, 2024, and we will talk about it.
Let's do it. Hopefully, we're all still alive by then.
I might have a shaved head.
Wow.
Same.
I don't know.
I probably will. Yeah, I was gonna say me and Mikey probably will have a shaved head by then.
Not by choice.
No. Hey, sorry, we can pull it off. Let's go to the current MVM SCW Steve. He says supernatural characters / unstoppable monsters in wrestling are much harder to book than regular characters. Fans also seem more into these gimmicks, but they are very quick to turn with the slightest booking mistake. Do you agree with that, Erica? Trick or treat?
I do love my spooky folk. I agree. I agree that they're maybe harder to protect because you need to keep that element of eeriness and unstoppability. So I agree with that. I don't particularly turn on them, but I'm also not the general audience. Fans are fickle, so I'll say treat. Even if I don't agree with it, what he's saying, I agree with.
Yeah, to
That
go
makes
off
sense.
what you're saying, I definitely think it's true. You look at The Fiend, for example, that match he had with Rollins at Crown Jewel, they immediately turned on him after that. They're like, he took 8 curb stomps, and it's like, oh, this is so unrealistic. But you were just buying into the character. Everybody loves The Fiend. So I would definitely say that this comment is a treat. What about you, Mikey?
Treat, but they turn so quickly because, I mean, I'm going to date myself here, but when Rey Mysterio beat the Big Show for the title, or even Dolph Ziggler beat the Big Show and Mark Henry in a triple threat, like, what the fuck good are your big guys when those little guys are beating you? Like, if a guy like, no offense to Ian, but if a guy like Ian could step up to a Big Show or a Mark Henry, my money's on Big Show or Mark Henry, and then Ian
Me
wins,
too.
they're just like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah. I would be saying that if Ian beat anyone in a match. I'd be like,
Okay.
this jabroni?
Hold on. You bring up
This
my
jobber?
name. You bring up my name. The 6-foot giant, 205 pounds with the beer gut and everything, drinking 1 beer.
What?
2 beers.
What?
All right. Listen, Mikey, you're talking so much shit right now when you
Oh.
got Gags at 5'9".
That's right. You better put that 9 there.
All right, I'm
I just picked the youngest guy, man.
okay. Fair.
It's the low man on the totem pole right there, Ian.
Just pick the
But
youngest guy.
trick or treat. Do you agree with what Steve's saying, Ian?
I'll say treat for the same reasons Erica said, because I agreed with everything she said.
Yeah.
Realistically, you could have picked any of us.
We all agreed that it was a treat.
He picked the right one.
My money's on Ian. Hey, Vogus said he's going with Ian against the Big Show.
Of course he is.
Well,
course he is.
Erica,
That's
it
his
seems
king.
like there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event. If that wasn't said before that match, I'd be disappointed. Let's go on to, we got about 4 more, I think, here. This is from Axmas, Xamas on Twitter. Sorry if I mispronounced it. He tweeted that he loved the Shotzi outfit, by the way, Erica. He's saying, with the rise of all the factions in WWE right now, it will eventually lead to managers returning to prominence and fighting to take over talent to make their own. Trick or treat? What are your thoughts, Erica?
Treat. Growing up before 97, all I wanted to be was like a Sunny. I wanted to be a manager. I wanted to be a valet. Like, I thought that was the tits. Like, that was it. Then once China came about, I was like, oh, I want to like beat dudes up for fun. Love managers, always have like a super special place in my heart. The Paul Heyman's, I would love a resurgence of managers, of good managers, of super flamboyant, characteristic managers. Super treat.
Ian?
I would say treat, just because I want to see Gangrel with Judgment Day.
Ooh, hey now.
Did you just come up with that on your own?
I did, actually. That was the first name I thought of.
I actually don't hate it. Good job,
Yeah.
man. Mikey?
I don't know if I'm more shocked that that was a good idea or that he knew who Gangrel was.
Book it better.
Treat. I mean, you're talking to the manager right now.
It's true.
No, it's real. Erica said, yeah. When I grew up watching wrestling, and I'm sure the same era as Erica, managers were everywhere. And if you weren't a tag team without a manager, you were nothing. I mean, the tennis racket, the megaphone. I mean, and
Just
every
that added
manager
something.
had a gimmick, and they were great on the mic, and they had two bad dudes behind them. Treat.
We found out who asked it. It was Bryant. That's your name. It's good to know that we can put a name to the face. So what's going on, man? And he said, unrelated question: does the rubber band have a safety pin in it?
Scotch tape. I asked.
Scotch tape.
There it is.
It comes off like that.
I can put it anywhere.
I'll say
that's incredible. That sticks. You'll say
treat.
what?
Treat.
Yes. That'd be awesome.
Obviously that was before my time when that was more of a thing, but I'd like to see it make a return, not to the extreme maybe of AEW.
When it's done well, because AEW doesn't do it well.
AEW is kind of a crowded manager scene right now, so
none of them are good.
A few of them, other than Paul Heyman, would be nice.
I feel like AEW. I mean, this in the. I don't know.
Go on.
I take it back. Don Callis is the only good one.
Yeah. I feel like AEW is full of people like top to bottom that are just like trying to get their TV time and like trying to get like themselves over instead of like we're a cohesive unit. Maybe that's not everybody, but I feel like it's a lot of people in AEW. So I kind of I agree with that.
Fair. It's a good point. Good point, Erica. We got 3 more here. Steve Signora says, I should say, Sami Zayn will shave down to his traditional look once he eventually turns face. Trick or treat, Erica.
Oh, treat because well, I noticed his heel turn coming when he shaved all the way, and I was like, "Ooh, that's the look of a bad guy." But I do think, he will shave. Now, maybe not clean shaven, but he will definitely get rid of that muzzly old beard. Come his face turn. No disrespect to anybody else that may have a red beard. No, I did not miss it, but I was also saving face for my friend who may have had a red beard, and that is no disrespect.
Who would that friend be? Can we put that friend on blast?
If anybody has a red beard, I am not talking about
Eric Redbeard.
I'm not calling your. Also, I don't know what I mean by muzzly. Is that a word? I called it muzzly.
Is that like a term for a Muslim person?
I don't know. No, I pictured it.
I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I'm just saying.
I gotta Google it. But anyway, I agree, Steve. Treat.
Mikey, trick or treat. Do we get the OG Sami Zayn freshly shaved and everything?
Trick. I'm pro beard.
And muzzly ain't a word, so
figured.
No harm done.
Ian, trick or treat.
I would say trick because people love him how he is right now, and there's no reason to change him how he is.
Yeah, I like the dorky Sami Zayn right now.
Yeah, give me a trick, but the old theme song. I want the just.
Oh my god, I want Sami Zayn.
Whoa! Come on, hey, there we go.
I want Sami Zayn dancing to the ring every week.
Yes, that is a vibe and a half.
Yes.
We got 2 more here, and then we have Erica's Tomatoes, followed by a few questions from Mikey Wilson. This one is from Ian himself, and this one makes me laugh because they suck. The Bears and the Packers will have a worse winning percentage than Peter Avalon by the end of the season. I'm going to go with treat because both the Packers and the Bears are very bad. Ian, you're a Bears fan. I'll let you comment on your own comment.
You know what? I'm going to say trick because the Bears won this week. Bear down.
Wow.
Packers.
Erica, trick or treat?
Treat. Fuck the Packers.
Wow. Yeah! Mikey's doesn't really have a great team. He's got Russell Wilson.
Yeah, they suck. I actually was drinking with. You can't see it.
No, I can't see it.
I'll send it to you. I was drinking with Pete Avalon. Look.
What? I can't see it.
Where?
Not the accent.
This is in Mexico.
Did he get a shot glass tattoo too?
No, he got a lime, and Julie got a salt shaker.
No, you're kidding.
No, I'm not joking. It's not Pete Avalon. It's a friend of mine. Looks exactly like Pete Avalon.
Oh my god! I was like, could you imagine that he got like matching tattoos with you guys? That's wild.
I can't disagree with Ryan Vogus. He said the Bears are the hottest football team in the last 3 days.
Yeah, if you're partial to Chicago,
you can stretch it out to 4 days because this game is not great tonight.
What is it looking like? Because I bet Bucks minus 1.5.
You're covering.
Let's go.
Wow.
Quick cue regarding Peter Avalon. Is he really married to or dating? What's her name? Leva Bates.
I don't know.
No.
Ian, do you know?
Velvet.
Is it kayfabe?
Did you just say Red Velvet?
Blue Velvet. Isn't she all blue?
Stir it up, stir it up, stir it up.
Kat loves it. Okay, it must be kayfabe, but I thought maybe it was real.
It is.
I think it's kayfabe. So last one here, and then we can move on to your tomatoes, Erica, which I hope you have prepared, right? You ready for that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this is the last one. This is from Aaron Oros. We kind of briefly discussed it at the beginning of the show, but he's saying Roman needs to drop both titles before or at WrestleMania. Mikey Wilson, trick or treat?
That's heavy.
Trick.
You're saying he doesn't need to.
I mean, how far away is WrestleMania? 4 months?
No, 6,
10,
5.
like 6 months.
6
Five,
months, okay.
5.
Plenty of time to build somebody, and Triple H is doing really good right now and dropping seeds. Like, he's not pushing anybody right now, but he's dropping seeds all over because he doesn't know who's going to be hot in a couple months. But trick.
Erica?
Read Vogus.
We are in the middle of one. We'll get to it. Just stay in. You know what? Fuck it. We can't. We're gonna have to pivot here because this one is very funny.
I'm distractible.
Trick or treat. Ian is subscribed to Ty Conti's OnlyFans.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
I wish, because I'm broke.
Vogus, can
Merry
you buy
Christmas.
him a subscription? Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? $5?
My boy's down bad. Oh, okay. Erica, back to the Roman Reigns thing. Aaron's saying he needs to drop both titles before or at WrestleMania.
Here's my thing is I can't picture him dropping one and not both. So I think it needs to come from somebody that's been built up to unify them into one. And we do have 5 months. I don't know who it would be or
It's way too soon, right?
It kind of is, right? Wait, what? Oh, 5 months, you mean? It would have to be someone that was like
That's a joke for Big E, right?
Oh, sorry. But
joke.
also 5 months.
Big.
I don't know.
He broke his neck about 6 months ago.
Yeah, I hope Big E gets healthy. I'm going to go treat with Aaron here. Not before WrestleMania, but I do believe at WrestleMania, Roman Reigns needs to drop the titles. I think we just need a complete refresh, reset of the main roster title scene because you got to assume now for 2 years, both title belts have been held hostage and it hasn't been given any opportunities for guys like Seth Rollins or a Riddle or a Drew McIntyre or a Karrion Kross, a Ciampa. The list goes on and on. There's so many other people I think could be world champion. I think once we get to WrestleMania, whoever he faces, we need to drop the titles. And if it's against The Rock, that is where it gets interesting because I don't think The Rock should defeat Roman Reigns. So that's a tough situation there.
And if Roman was older, I feel like I'd be into it more, but he's like Ian earmuffs. He's like my age. So he's like not all the way old yet. He's getting there, but he's not.
He's still got it.
Yeah, he's still got it. So I mean there's always gonna be the comeback period. So I'm listen, I don't know. I'm interested to see how the whole thing plays out. This is one of those scenarios that I wish I could like fast forward 2 years just to like see what happens and then like come back. But
we don't want to ruin the build. I'm loving the bloodline right now. I think it's the best thing.
I agree. I just would like to peek and know and then come back.
But it's going to be a surprise because there is a few names I think that could dethrone Roman Reigns. And like Vogus said, Roman and Mox can take their much-deserved vacation together once they both drop the titles. But I think that concludes our trick or treat. We were able to go an hour. So thank you to all those that gave us, some statements, opinions, some wrestling takes, because this was very fun. But it is the time of the show where we let Erica Marini go ham, and she is going to throw her tomatoes. Who is pissing you off this week, Erica Marini?
So like at very first, this was a pretty calm week for my anger levels. Couldn't really think of anybody. At first, I wanted to say it was the person that booked the Omos squash match because I was like, we didn't need that. But maybe we did. Maybe Omos needed it. So I'm going to go with it for the sake of storyline unfolding. Bringing it kind of personal, the person getting my tomatoes this week is Ryan Vogus for the you earn the tomatoes by not being here tonight on the show.
Oh, good call.
blame it on whatever you want. It's 8 o'clock Eastern time, Central time. You'd be fine. And then B, you're just like shit talking comments in the comment section. Like you're splattered. That's it. So
Wow.
Ryan Bogus, congratulations. You got my tomatoes this week.
I was not expecting the tomatoes to be directed at Ryan Bogus, but here we are.
Sometimes the tomatoes let you know.
Fair enough.
Bogus did beat Omos though.
This is true. My tweet got a lot of traction. I was like, nothing kills the vibe like a classic Omos squash match. Like those are just
True.
It's such an outdated concept.
But I also do think that like they need to do something with him after the AJ thing. And so like if this is like, all right, we're gonna do this if they're gonna do this every week, you're getting my tomatoes every week. But if they're using it to kind of
Do you want to read his comment?
No, I'm gonna
Bogus said that
I'm gonna
was-
let him think about his comment.
Okay, we won't acknowledge it, but Vogus has his statement. But
So-
Mikey, you texted me before we started recording that you had a few questions for us, so I'll let you shoot those our way, and we can discuss those a little bit.
You guys in the past have talked about
Uh-oh.
like in WWE in the past before AEW, you guys talked about. I don't disagree with any champions right now. I like all their champions. Is there a champion today that you disagree with
In AEW?
in wrestling? Let's go AEW, WWE. We don't have to bring.
I wasn't.
I got one off the top of my head. You want me to go, Erica, if you're still thinking?
Yeah.
This might be controversial. I'm going to go Bianca Belair.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't think it's working this time around. Maybe she needs Sasha Banks or someone bigger, or maybe it's just Damage Control and Bayley isn't working the way that I initially expected it to. And maybe a Bianca Belair is better on the chase. So that's the first one that comes to my mind. I'm going to go Bianca Belair. It's a good question.
I think too, it is a very good question. And I think Bianca is like, they're trying to make her possibly like the female, like John Cena, like
100%.
she's for the kids and, you know, they'll keep her face, this and that. But I agree that there is something off about it this time. I don't know if it's like everything that happened after her loss at SummerSlam last year and she's just kind of not finding her footing. But I don't know about, Damage Control, that's up to creative. Like, Bogus, this is why you get my fucking tomatoes.
I didn't even pull up the comment. You can't react to it.
You don't need to.
Okay.
He said Damage Control stinks out loud.
I mean, in his defense, I don't think it's been
Trick.
great. I like Dakota. I like
But like
Io,
they're
I like
saving
Bayley.
Bayley for like what? It's like shit or get off the pot. Like it's Bayley, she can do it. Everybody wants her to do it. And you know when she does it, like she's gonna like keep it going. So
What do you think about Brian's comment? He said it's almost as if they're trying too hard with Bianca.
and like I feel bad that like when she goes into the ring and like now she doesn't do like the like
Butt
kiss my
slap.
butt thing. Like that's what made me think of like it's like for the kids and like all right, great. I agree. I don't know.
No, that's a fair comment from Ryan Bogus. He said, I don't think the wrestlers are bad. Damage Control stinks out loud. And
I don't think so.
I don't think it stinks. It's just not what I expected it to be. I do like how was it Monday Night Raw where they beat down Candace? Yeah, it was Candace with a sit down with Kathy Kelly, and they beat down Candace. We need more of that. Like Damage Control needs a little edge to them. And I think we maybe are getting there, but yeah, they haven't reached their full potential. I think
Like
it's
a retribution almost.
Oh, don't bring that up.
Yeah, but don't you think that's up to creative? Like
In a way, yes.
Yeah, so you
I
can't
don't
give it
fully
all to them. They're the
think-
women's tag champions right now, and it's just we're waiting on Bayley for something to happen with her.
And going with the tag division too, ever since Sasha and Naomi left, Io and Dakota are the best things that have happened to those tag team titles.
So who should beat them? Oh wait, I have a question for you guys.
Oh, here we go.
This isn't a trick or a treat, but I wanted to ask you. So I read that Luke Gallows said he has an answer for Rhea, and who do you think it is?
Charlotte.
You think, Mike? Who'd you say?
I just said ooh to Charlotte.
Ooh,
I think it's Charlotte. Charlotte and AJ did the mixed match challenge
yeah,
together.
they did. But can you picture? Yeah, she would eat that fucking too sweet up. She would feel so cool.
We're coming for you. I love that theme song, by the way. The OC.
Interesting.
What?
I thought. Well, I got not spoiled on Twitter, but somebody put it in my head about like Liv with her whole thing with AJ when it was like her and AJ,
Yeah.
whatever, or with Rhea, and that would make sense. Then I saw somebody kind of like shit talk Shayna Baszler today on her Instagram, and I just feel like that would be like cool for her. Like she doesn't need to be like the woman of the group. She doesn't need to be like the starlet. Like she would be there like hanging back like one of the dudes, and like she is someone that could hang with Rhea, someone that's beaten Rhea, like someone that could hold her own against Rhea.
I think there's more for Shayna with the Ronda situation. Now that Ronda's women's champion, I think Shayna and Ronda are going to have a run-in of sorts down the line. That's something they should visit. But Mikey, what was your question again? Sorry, I completely forgot. I want to direct it towards Ian because we were originally talking
about which champion stinks right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ian, you probably have an answer to that.
No, I don't have an answer to that. I don't.
You like all the champions?
I don't mind all the champions. I don't
Wardlow,
like
Moxley,
Tony
Storm. Name them off.
I would say Tony Storm and Wardlow. I don't hate them as champion, but it's like, why have them as champions still?
I think I forget that Tony's champion.
Yeah, I
agree.
She also hates the interim title. It's another good point.
What do you say?
The TNT title hasn't been like defended in forever.
You're talking about, is that
Wardlow?
I'm so confused.
Wardlow.
Okay.
TNT's Wardlow, TBS is Jade.
I have to remember that bitch show.
There's a lot of champions.
Is the women's one. Because Nyla didn't really win it, right? She just took it?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mikey, do you have an answer to your own question?
No, I don't hate any of the champions. I wish they would have done what they're doing with Seth Rollins with Bobby Lashley sooner because there's not a main title on Raw right now. But other than that, I mean, Austin Theory, Money in the Bank, but.
And do you think this is a way? I don't know what I'm asking, so never mind.
Wait, the way? Austin Theory? Is that what you're getting to?
A way.
I was just connecting the dots. Mikey, you have one more question to close us out.
Yeah, I've actually changed this since I texted you. I've heard recent news as of today that Triple H has canceled a 14-year pay-per-view. He's canceled Hell in the Cell, which I'm a fan of canceling Hell in the Cell and all of his reasons behind his. And you have to create a stipulation to get Hell in the Cell when it's there for a rivalry that gets out of control to put them in Hell in the Cell.
It's the end-all, be-all.
Yeah, and I'm glad he canceled it. What is another stipulation pay-per-view? Do you guys have anything off the top of your head where it's like we talked about Survivor Series earlier, or like is there another pay-per-view that revolves around something that you cannot stand? That was my main pay-per-view that I could
that
not
you
stand.
can't stand.
That's a good one.
Because it's so forced. Like even Extreme Rules, like.
But this year's Extreme Rules felt a little different. Like every match had its own stipulation and meaning behind it.
I agree, and I don't think Extreme Rules is the answer, but everything's so forced when it comes. Like Liv Morgan never picked up a baseball bat prior to.
You don't know that. What if she was a softball champion?
She might have.
We would have known that.
TV during her WWE tenure, she's never picked a baseball bat.
Ooh, Robbie's got an answer for you, Mikey. Money in the Bank should be canceled, and the ladder matches should be at WrestleMania.
That would be great.
There you go.
That would be great. We don't need a whole pay-per-view for it.
That's where I was going.
Robbie,
that's a really good idea, Robbie.
It's a good one. I disagree. Ryan Vogus, like, this got to be trolling. Bring back the Punjabi prison.
Why not?
But I feel like he means it, so.
Why not?
Brian says replace the Hell in a Cell with a kennel from hell.
Mike Vick will be your host. Nah, I shouldn't have said that.
Piece of shit.
Mike Vick played for the Steelers, who Erica supports. So does Erica support dog violence?
You think I supported the fucking Steelers or Michael Vick when he played?
I'm just giving you shit. I know you don't.
I know. I will see Michael Vick in hell, and I will be the one to send him there.
You're not going to hell if it's a thing.
Oh, but I'll kill Michael Vick. You agree with that?
Sure, go for it. I don't care.
All right, cool.
Do what you got to do. But you know, we're at that point of the show, an hour and 15 minutes in. Can't believe we've gone this long. We award the most valuable mark of the On the Mark Wrestling podcast. It's the person that's interacting the most, giving the most quality comments, and it's not going to be a retain this week because unfortunately SCW Steve wasn't able to make it. So we have a new MVM of the On the Mark Wrestling podcast, the OG MVM, Ryan Vogus.
That's my king.
Ian, thoughts on Vogus
Um,
reclaiming the MBM?
It is well deserved.
I love how Bogus knew. I love how Bogus knew too, because he goes, "Make Erica say it." Erica, say it. Who's our new MBM?
I don't know. I didn't vote for him.
I did, and that is my king. Ryan Bogus deserves it all. He was commenting all night tonight and providing the best comments of the night. Ryan Bogus, you are my hero, and I strive to be you one day.
Oh my God. Yeah, make out already.
Get a room. Shout out to Ian, the greatest guest host ever on this podcast. And we know if he were to say who's the greatest host, he would say Tuck. He wouldn't say me or Erica.
Yeah, are we done here?
Erica, you already threw tomatoes at him. We don't have to.
I'm double again. I'm ready.
Fair enough. But Mikey, thank you for joining us. It's been a couple months, I think, since you last joined us. You got any final thoughts, any final takes about the wrestling world going on right now?
No, it's convoluted right now. And so when I do have wrestling on in the background, it's just on in the background. Nothing. There's a few storylines right now that makes me like, oh, put my phone down and watch this. And then I kind of just go back to my
Name
phone.
those storylines.
MJF.
Good call.
Anytime Roman's on the TV.
Good call.
And then Kevin Owens doesn't really do it for me these days.
A third somewhere that could change. Yeah.
There's a third
somewhere. An open third. Yeah.
Maybe when Kenny Omega's music hits, it comes back.
Do we have any guesses on what's going on with them disappearing in that vignette?
They're all coming back.
I think their presence in that promo says like enough. Like they're coming.
It's just a vignette for them, you're thinking?
Yeah.
For sure. And they did it on Punk's birthday. So I feel like even if it was a bit premature, I feel like they did it potentially to do it on that day. But I think it's I don't know.
Ian, you think that's the elite just vignette right there?
Yeah.
They're also in Connecticut on Friday. I'm not going.
That was a Bucks idea, and they are coming back to AEW.
Okay. Ian, any final remarks as we close out on episode 120?
Enjoy wrestling, enjoy OTM, enjoy life.
It's a great way to end it, Ian. Thanks again for joining us. And Erica, do you have any final remarks for our fans, our listeners out there on episode 120?
Mikey, for what it's worth, you are always my MVM vote week after week. So obviously this week it didn't work out, but
that's Captain Lou Albano to you.
And it's true. Kyle and Tuck can vouch for me every week. I shout it in caps while you're tuning in. No, I love it.
Wait, hold on. I got to pull up this comment because Vogus rarely will compliment me. He said, "Great show, Ian, and great hosting, Kyle." Thank you, Vogus. I appreciate you. It was my decision to give you the MVM as well. I want to put that on the record.
Yeah, I did not even fucking chime in.
I did vote.
You didn't vote.
I have one ear.
I wasn't taking your opinion, Patrick Wisdom, with your dumbass Cubs jersey on.
Hey, but his last name is Wisdom. How could you not?
Thank you.
Cardinals legend, some would say. But I think that's all we got for him. As my co-host would say, that was unfortunately once again not able to be here. It is a great time to be a wrestling fan. And thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling. Bye.